Hello, McFluffy52 here, back with some more Murders at Karlov Manor action. Today, I hope to show you how you can take on the Mythic ranked ladder and win using 0 rares. Today we're playing a mono blue artifact tempo aggro deck, which I can't take credit for. I've played against this list several times while I was climbing, and so I thought I would go ahead and show it off. This particular deck list that I pulled from Untapped GG has 200 games logged with a 57.8% win rate over those games. There's also a very similar deck list that's playing 0 Case of the Filched Falcon, playing 1 more Prosperous Thief, 1 more Unctus Retrofitter, and 2 Fading Hopes, as 17,000 games logged with a 55.2% win rate. So this deck is hopefully the real deal. I did not make it, which is probably a good thing because I'm not great at making decks, but yeah, we're playing 0 rares. I'm playing the version of this deck that I found with the Filched Falcon because it has the highest win rate using 0 rares. There is one that includes a few rares that seems to have shown a higher win rate, but it's only been over 190 games. But anyways, the way this deck works is we play these artifact creatures on 1, or creatures that create artifacts on 1, and hopefully are pretty evasive. We want them to be evasive so we can kind of sneak in damage. We have a flying artifact creature. This enters the battlefield, can tap a permanent. This creates a map token, which we can sack it to explore on like a Gingerbrute maybe, because Gingerbrute is a 1/1 with haste. We can also pay 1 to make it so it can't be blocked except by creatures with haste. So this is nearly unblockable in most games. I guess except the mono red matchup. But anyways, that's the idea, is we play these creatures and then we can go ahead and if they're evasive, we can ninjutsu in like Moon Circuit Hacker, so we can sneak in 2 damage instead of 1 damage. And we're also going to cheat on mana cost because normally it would cost 2 to cast this card. So ninjutsu for 1 blue helps us out. It will allow us to also draw a card, which is really cool. These creatures can also instant speed flash this in at the end of the opponent's turn and then crew this 2/2 flash flyer, which is very helpful, this vehicle here. And then we can also just make these artifacts. So say we have a Network Disruptor on the battlefield, we can turn it into a 4/4, so it's going to be a 4/4 flyer, which is pretty huge. We can put a Zoetic Glyph, which will make it into a 5/4. We can also make our Gingerbrute into a 5/4 and then give it unblockable. So these are the kinds of strategies that you can also like ninjutsu in if you have like an unblockable Gingerbrute. So it's all about the tempo game here. We're playing 20 lands, we're playing 2 Roadside Reliquaries, they give us a little bit of card draw, and then all of our interaction are just simply 1-mana bounce spells. We have Fading Hope, which allows us to scry if it's a cheap creature, and then Machine over Matter allows us to bounce any non-land permanent, and it should generally cost 1 blue because we're going to have artifact creatures with Network Disruptor, Gingerbrute, the High-Speed Hoverbike potentially. So yeah, that is the secret tech of the deck. Let's go see how we can do in some games. Alright, we're playing against 93% Mythic. When I ranked into Mythic, I was in the top 1200, but I haven't been playing as much ranked. And so it's been decaying some, but I think we very much like this hand. We can kind of just curve out with our Gingerbrute ninjutsuing. Hope our opponent... Yeah, there we go. Oh no, my game's going to be a little stuttery since I find that after starting up my game, it's a bit stuttery for the first little while. Teething Wormlet, that is a little obnoxious, but I think we'll go ahead, back in with Gingerbrute. Don't think they're going to want to trade. We can go ahead and ninjutsu in the Prosperous Thief, which is going to be 3 damage. We didn't even have to make it unblockable. I didn't think our opponent wanted to trade because Teething Wormlet is pretty nice. We care about using our treasure. It's a treasure, so it doesn't really make a difference, and Gingerbrute has haste, so it also doesn't make a difference if we play it this turn or not. Question is, do we ninjutsu in our Moon Circuit Hacker off our Gingerbrute? Oh, we might be able to... Oh my. Interesting. Opponent has 1 green open, so I don't think they have any responses to this. So I think we just go for this plan. And I think we will be winning very shortly. Because we make Gingerbrute unblockable. They might be able to gain a few life with his Teething Wormlet. But overall, I feel like it's going to be hard for them to come back into the game. Unless they have their own Gingerbrute. They are playing very similar deck list, it looks like. The Simic, kind of like cookies, Simic artifacts deck. That is okay. But yeah, you can see they gained 1 life from the Teething Wormlet, seeing an artifact enter. So we might have a little bit longer of a game if our opponent gains more life next turn, which presumably they will. Hopefully we find Prosperous Thief is pretty nice. Okay. I think we go ahead, pay it to make it unblockable, and then just attack in. I don't think we want to ninjutsu either of these in. I think I might just play out a Prosperous Thief as defense or as a way to attack in next turn. I don't think our opponent's gonna have any sweepers, so we don't have to worry about it overextending. It could have like mass bounce, but that seems also very unlikely when they're playing a very much put things on the board deck. Zoetic Glyph, our opponent has their own big beats. No way to gain any life. I think we just win through the Gingerbrute. I think we might end up winning through the Gingerbrute. Ooh, that's a good card, but it's a little too... Well, I don't even think we die if we don't block, so yeah. GG's. Alright, we're playing against number 1297. Top 1300 Mythic. Let's go. Ooh, this hand's rough. We have no 1-drop. I kind of want a mulligan. Yeah, this is not much better, but something is better than nothing. We presumably will not need all those lands. Network Disruptor, so we can flash in the Hoverbike next turn, maybe. Tap target permanent, so yeah, you have to select something. It's funny. Thankfully, you can select things that are already tapped. Opponent, Orzhov. Okay, Gix's command, that is scary. Thankfully, the Hoverbike is good at getting around that. Play the Filched Falcon, but I don't think we want to. Hoverbike won't be able to have haste, or it doesn't have haste, so let's just rest and see what our opponent does. Temporary lockdown is probably one of the worst things we could find, but we have Machine Over Matter to bounce it to maybe get in. But yeah. Oh, it's Orzhov Lifegain. That's concerning. That's actually kind of annoying. Alright, we'll get this. I forgot this taps a creature. I completely forgot. Yes, let's get the case down. I don't think our opponent's going to be playing... Opponent's going to be playing Lifegain, so we just need to be ready to deal with that. Or deal with any of their Lifegain payoff. So, Voice of the Blessed, Amalia are both very scary. Amalia will be more annoying if they end up with that. Case of the Uneaten Feast. Nice. Monarch Veteran. Okay. 1 mana open. Do they have a black creature? Gain a bunch of life. Yes. Okay. Do I draw a card? Our case is already solved. But we won't have that card. I think what we might do is just bounce the Monarch Veteran. Slow him down. Another Fading Hope. Is that good? I think that's decent interaction, actually. My turn. Alright, let's go for a lot of damage here, and then we can bounce stuff on our next turn. Got them down to 13. I think this is turn 3. Numerarch Veteran. Did you find a life gain payoff, or is this... Virtue. Okay. That is frustrating, but we can deal with it. Well, I think we just go in with the... Oh, we should have Fading Hope on our upkeep, so we would have been able to scry for our draw. I think we just hold Fading Hope up, and if our opponent goes to remove our 4/4, we can draw. Wish we had the Fading Hope to bounce our Network Disruptor in response to their Virtue, because that would have fizzled it. They would have gained the life, and they wouldn't have the card. I think we do this just to scry. It is giving them more life gain because presumably they don't have any creatures. Ooh, that's really good. That is actually super good. Though, if they have instant speed removal, it is kind of obnoxious. Unctus Retrofitter can make our High-Speed Hoverbike into a 4/4, and then... then we don't have to accrue to attack with it. Though we could have accrued with the Unctus Retrofitter anyways, but... 8 damage wandering. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Probably get rid of the clue, I would think.
I am the Emperor of Kamigawa, and
But maybe I'm wrong.
Protect my people.
So much life gain.
You are not much of a roadblock.
I think I could have played this better. Retrofitter is cool, but I think I should have held off for a turn and played out a High-Speed Hoverbike on their turn, and then I would have been also be able to respond to the Wanderer. I should have seen the Wanderer coming. I just thought they were drawing dead, but I was wrong. Another Virtue is kind of obnoxious, but... back up to 15 they go. My goodness. What, are they gonna Virtue their own? Okay. A little worried there.
We've got the edge in this fight.
Afraid they were about to do something crazy. I feel like we gotta get rid of Emperor. I could bounce it, but I think it's best to just kill it, and then we can hold up all these things. If they crew their... we can't bounce their manland with the Machine Over Matter. So they could swing in with their manland, which would be really bad. I could bounce one of their veterans. Prevent some life gain here. Holy moly, dude. It is so hard to aggro down their deck. Can't win them all, and this is definitely shaping up to be one of the tougher games, because we just didn't have as explosive a draw. We drew into like a million bounce spells. 2 Fading Hopes, 1 Machine Over Matter. Actually 2 Machine Over Matters. There's just... that's what's in the graveyard. My goodness. I don't think we're going to be able to kill them. I think this is one where we just need to cut our losses and go next. We'll give it one more turn cycle, and then we'll just concede. See, something like Mill would absolutely destroy our current opponent here. They've had like no board presence, so they wouldn't be able to take down a Jace, and then the creatures that they have would get Completely ruined by like a sunfall. Alright. Go in and think it's a good game. Go ahead and go next. I do think that is one of the weaknesses of this particular deck, is that since we're playing these bounce spells, we're not particularly good. Well, like pretty good aggro deck and everything. We have the flash and stuff, which is pretty helpful, but a bit problematic dealing with some of like the more decks that are very tuned toward aggro. And I would say Lifegain is probably not too upset to be playing against an aggro deck. Go ahead and Ninjutsu in our Gingerbrute. Draw a card. What do we find? Not exactly what I was looking for. I'll play a Network Disruptor, even though it's not crazy helpful. After Kumano. Charming Scoundrel, Wicked Roll. Yeah, that kind of hurts. Oh, these hoverbikes are kind of crazy. We're definitely gonna just draw and discard with this Moon Circuit Hacker, I think. Yeah, draw a card, discard. Holy. It's the Flood. 20 lands. We're playing the same amount of lands as their red mono red deck. And we've seen 6. Okay, this is not your average mono red deck then. But I respect that. I should have flashed in a hoverbike to stop one of their attackers, because they could tap down. It's fine. I'll tap down their Thrill Seeker and then we'll be fine. That's better in terms of aggro. Ooh. Prosperous Thief is actually pretty nice here. We should be able to ninjutsu it in, and also... What do I want to crew with? Gingerbrute? What do we want to bounce to our hand? I don't know if it matters. Rogue? What does it say? Ninja or rogue? Okay, so this will make more treasures if we do this, I think. Actually, no, I did it the completely wrong way. It's fine. Everything is fine. Bounce this, do more damage. And then treasures. We'll draw a discard, because why not? Ooh. Makes this a little bit harder. I think we ought to hold up the High-Speed Hoverbike. Could play down the Network Disruptor as a... We'll tap your... I think we're going to want to tap something with a hoverbike here before combat. Probably the Charming Scoundrel, to be honest. They should have probably put that on the Voldaren Thrill Seeker. Alright, so we'll play this out. I think the best interest here is to tap their Charming Scoundrel. Opponent could have gotten probably lethal. Oh, before blockers, I should probably crew the hoverbike if we want to trade with the etchings. Though now they can bolt down the bike in response before blockers, but they did not have it. We're gonna take 6+2. Okay, we live as long as they don't have play with fire 3.0. Let's go. All right, we took down mono red. Nice. I have to say, tempo decks are pretty fun to play. And this deck has some cool strategies that I'm a pretty big fan of, like the Ensoul Artifact aspect of using like Zoetic Glyph and the Unctus Retrofitter to make our like 1-drops into 5/4s or 4/4s. Kind of want a mulligan. There you go, 1-drop. 1-drop in action. I think Zoetic Glyph is just better Unctus Retrofitter for the most part. Could tap our Network Disruptor. What is our opponent playing? Mono red? Mono red. Cool. No box. Ooh, Filched Falcon. Huh. A ninjutsu in the Moon Circuit Hacker? I kind of also just want a ninjutsu in the Prosperous Thief, and then I can play like Filched Falcon afterwards or something like that. I think this may be the best. The drawing with the Moon Circuit Hacker might be better. I don't have that much experience playing ninjas. So that might be a bit of a problem. Treasure we can save for later. I think we might. I don't know if we should have played out the Network Disruptor with the treasure or not, but we can play the Network Disruptor and then the case of the Filched Falcon. I think we'll solve the case on the end of our turn. Prosperous Thief, dead to a lightning bolt. That's less damage to our face. We're keeping pace with our the mono red deck, which is good. I think we solved the case. But these Network Disruptors feel so bad tapping like nothing. Feels kind of bad tapping nothing. Hoverbikes though, they're pretty good. We saw how it saved our skin that last game, being able to tap down their creature on their turn so they can attack in. Ooh.
This little candle's gonna set your world on fire.
Yo.
Watch me heat up the dance floor.
Chill. Do we care? Okay. Nice. I like this. Alright, so we glyph onto the clue so we can swing into Chandra, and then we can Moon Circuit Hacker on the Network Disruptor. Do we care about Chandra's 1 damage every turn and additional mana, so they can start exiling top a card? I feel like we should get rid of Chandra. We're gonna lose some pace. Sorry, opponent. Well, I think this is for certain. Make a 5/4. And then do we kill Chandra? Or do we go face? Because if we go face, how close are we to like killing them? We do 7 damage this turn. They do 1, 2, 3, maybe like 4 or 5 damage to us in the following turn. I think we gotta get rid of Chandra. And then just hope this Moon Circuit Hacker hits real good. Auto pay. Bounce this to hand. Draw.
No after party.
Okay, we drew a Moon Circuit Hacker. Being able to tap down stuff with Network Disruptor now might be relevant. Belden, Bowser, Phoenix Cheek, ouch. Okay. We can play the Filched Falcon and transform it, sort of, but I think we play the Filched Falcon, keep the token on the battlefield for a turn, so that we can transform it into a flying 4/4, hope to survive next turn by flashing in a hoverbike. And we can draw discard with the Moon Circuit Hacker, I think. No, we're not ninjutsuing because we need to do some Yeah, let's draw a card, discard a card. Do we want to land? Have we played a land this turn? I don't think we have, so we can actually drop this Network Disruptor, which might be relevant as a blocker to save our skin, and then we can also crew the Hoverbike next turn then. Okay. Complete plan assembled, solve 2 cases, we can transform 1 case, we just need to make sure to use the Hoverbike before attacks, and then we can also block with it as a 2/2, or we can save it as an attacker, depending on how much damage we think we're receiving. Ooh, Bloodthirsty Adversary, that is a good card. Okay, they're going to attacks now, so we need to tap something down. Question is, I think we tap down the Feldon? The adversary doesn't exile them cards, so we tap down Feldon so we can block the adversary if we need to, and then I think we have lethal next turn. As long as we can just turn this into a non-lethal attack. So they don't have any blockers. They could blow up the Moon Circuit Hacker, but we still have lethal damage through the case. Because our clue is not going to have Summoning Sickness, neither is our Hoverbike. So we can give either of them, make either of them into a 4/4 flyer with our case of the Filched Falcon. Opponent might be regretting not bolting down our Disruptor. This deck it's kind of fun to play. Good game, opponent. This was it was a close one. They're fun when they're close. Alright, we will go ahead, sacrifice a case, make this into a 4/4 flyer. And then I think we just attack. Don't think they will have anything. Play with fire in my face. Yeah. It was close. Nice. Okay, against the rank 1308. Ooh. Double Roadside Reliquary in the opening is kind of gross, as in like not something we really want to see. But this hand isn't terrible because we got the Unctus and the case of the Filched Falcon. We'll have 1-2 artifacts there, so we won't be able to solve the case. But we can use the case to draw a card. I think we give it a go. Opponent's going first though. Okay, we drew into an island. Excellent. We play the Spyglass Siren instead of the case, because then we can attack in with it this following turn. Every damage counts. But also, I guess, if our opponent has responses, then it becomes a little bit more complicated. I think, yeah, we play the island. Actually, I could have played the Roadside Reliquary if I really wanted to, but counterspell. Okay. I think we just keep the Unctus Retrofitter. Killing. Raffine. Now that is a lame card. Raffine is very annoying. Very, very strong card. Can't attack through. I think we might just jam an Unctus Retrofitter. And swing with a 4/4 for a turn. And then hope our opponent doesn't have a removal for the Retrofitter. We could wait a turn so we could protect it with Machine Over Matter. By playing like a Network Disruptor. Paying the ward cost on Raffine and attacking in. This feels kind of bad to do, but I think it's worth it because if they kill our Retrofitter here, we really have nothing going on. So I think we actually have to slow roll this. Now we have Machine Over Matter, which is very good. Now we can always bounce their Raffine if it gets a bunch of counters, which should be nice. No box. Why would I block? Alright, what do you got? Wedding announcement? Oh, Grace, it's Esper tokens with Raffine. And probably the virtue of loyalty. I could bounce the wedding announcement It would stop them from getting a token and stop their snowballing. I think it's probably worth here. But now we have no protection for the Retrofitter, which is kind of bad, but I think we're okay with that because we have these Roadside Reliquaries to draw cards if we need to. Okay, we're going to probably crack these Roadside Reliquaries to draw a card. It would draw 2 cards if we also included, controlled one of those enchantment ninjas. Or the case of the Filched Falcon, it would help us draw a card with that as well. Yikes. Yikes. Kinda glad we bounced that, but at the same time, Gix is gross. Gix is rough. They discarded the... Wow. What is your... Oh, I guess they have a white source. Gonna destroy their Retrofitter. There goes our 4/4. Okay, Hoverbike is nice. I think... Oh, this is a map. That would draw me a card. Land. That's not great. Hoverbike. Do we go for the Hoverbike? We can't attack in with it, so I think we can wait a turn, maybe. I think we might have just lost. This might just be a... Opponent had a really good draw, and we lost. Kind of would like a bounce spell, I'm not gonna lie. There we go. Okay, so we can bounce their Gix. I think that's what we'll do on their turn. We'll wait until they go to attack so they can't replay it, and then I will stop them from drawing. It will also stop Rafine from conniving. 2, though they could have a make disappear. No more lies. Wow. Playing no more lies. Yeah. Well, Gix and Rafine are just gonna carry their game. They're just such ridiculous cards. Rafine being more ridiculous than Gix, but still. They have a handful of interaction. They are bleeding out really badly. Scratch that, they are perfectly fine. I think we wait till their turn, and then we can tap down Gix and bounce Rafine. We have 5 mana. Do we tap down Gix and bounce Rafine, or do we tap down Rafine and bounce Gix? This says whenever you attack. Oh my god, I forgot it. Rafine didn't even need to attack. That's disgusting. Wow. Damn. Feel like which is more problematic. Well, they're not gonna get value out of Gix this turn, I don't think. So. And then we can bounce Rafine, pay 1. They will be able to recast Rafine though, but they'll have 0 attackers. I think it hurts more to recast Rafine here because then they'll be out of white mana. Shieldred, great. Great. Alright, well, that's gonna be a good game. Nothing to do. Well, if you let Rafine sit around, the opponent's gonna draw pretty deep in their deck and find their Shieldred. And their Gix. That is unfortunate. Though I have to say it's funny, right before the game, I wanted to check how we were doing with the deck. And it's every game that I go to check how we're doing with the deck, we lose that following game. That's what it feels like. Opponent playing Azorious control, yay. Ninjutsu gets around that though, so that is a fun little feature. Because ninjutsu isn't casting, it's an ability, so it can't get countered like a No More Lies. We can bounce our Moon Circuit Hacker if we need to, but I don't think we will. We play out the Gingerbrute again, but I'm kind of worried that they're just gonna like temporary lockdown, so I might hold up Fading Hope. Moment of Truth. Okay. This might actually be a Azorious like spell slinger with Monastery Mentor and like Haughty Jin or something. Maybe Haughty Jin. Our opponent could also just be playing utter nonsense. And I might regret not playing out the Gingerbrute. Trying to play around potential removal here, but I will play out the Gingerbrute. Do they No More Lies, Gingerbrute? I think we'll draw this card to get rid of like a Hoverbike because you only need so many. If you remove the Moon Circuit Hacker, or try to remove it, I'll bounce it with Fading Hope, and then I'll just ninjutsu it in and draw a card. I think that's the plan. Alright. Sorry, the music stopped. I am still there, thank you. Alright, the opponent lets it go. Draw this card. What do you find? Ooh, Moon Circuit Hacker, I like that. Only need so many bikes. Moment of Truth. Could be finding a sweeper right about now. And bounce both of our creatures to our hand if we really want to. Might be worth it if they go for a sweeper. Just to maximize our things. Hey, Monastery Mentor, I was on the nose. I think we Hoverbike. Tap this. And lots of damage is the plan, I think. And then we can Fading Hope their Mentor on their upkeep. Or on our end step or something. Alright, we will crew you. And then swing. So what we can do, we can just bounce the token if it's absolutely necessary. I think we will. We'll let it resolve though. We can't really do anything until after it's resolved. Bounce token. Don't know if I really want another Hoverbike. I would like a case or a... Do we bounce the Mentor? I think we wait until they draw their card. We can wait until our end step, especially after ninjutsuing. What we could do is ninjutsu on the Moon Circuit Hacker and then ninjutsu the other Moon Circuit Hacker back into our hand, and or like ninjutsu the one that's on the was on the battlefield to then. Okay, I don't need a land. I think we Fading Hope. Gingerbrute is cool, but I would prefer something to make mine stuff bigger. Yep. Mentor. I have some instant speed stuff. Cool. Alright. Think we machine over matter their Mentor. Just so that they have to cast whatever they want to cast now. Then I think we might be able to get through with lethal. Just otherworldly games. Okay, cool. I think there's a way we have lethal here. I think we crew with the Moon Circuit Hacker. We make the Gingerbrute unblockable. That's 2 in the air. 3. I don't know. I think we do this. One of you crews. Or would it be better to crew with a Moon Circuit Hacker so we can make one of them unblockable? I think we crew with one of these. And then, sure, why not make it unblockable? And swing. Just hope that I can't do math in my head right now. I don't know what to tell you. And that's one life. Unfortunate. Yeah, let's draw a card. Oh. Okay. Gingerbrute, you might be going all the way. Alright. We did it. Not bad. Alright. Next opponent, next victim. Let's see how. I'm gonna go check. Now, me checking how we've done with this deck will probably mean this next game is gonna be a loss. We're 4-2. This is pretty good. Especially considering we're playing 0 rares. Opponent goes first. We're going to draw an additional card, so I think we can afford a mulligan for better action on 1. This is, I guess, better because we have Zoetic Glyph. And then we can toss a Machine of Matter, maybe. So we can turn the High-Speed Hoverbike into a flying 5/4. And we can flash it in to stop them from going completely aggro madness. I feel like we played against this opponent in the last video. I think we quite literally played against... I remember these sleeves. Maybe I'm wrong. And maybe these sleeves are popular. They look so nice. They're supposed to be like Amagawa mountain sleeves or something. That's what it seems like. Secret little tech we could do with Gingerbrute is gain 3 life with it because it is a food, so you can sacrifice it to gain life. Little fun fact. I think we go with the hoverbike, and then we can make it into a flying 5/4 the next turn. See, that's real cool and all, but it's tapped. Neat. And then, how do we want to play it? I think we glyph the hoverbike, or we glyph Gingerbrute. I think we glyph the hoverbike. So we're gonna get in with the Gingerbrute anyways. Nice. Alright, we have Fading Hope for Godric when they go in for like an attack. Spyglass Siren. Don't think they'll have anything to kill the hoverbike unless they have Witchstalker's Frenzy, and I don't know if they would be. Okay, that's spooky. Fading Hope would be pretty nice right about now, so maybe we should have gone for the Spyglass Siren. Lightning Strike. Intriguing. Sometimes it's better not to ask questions about what your opponents are doing, I think. I don't know what to tell you all. That was interesting. Maybe they just feel like the game's already over, and so they kind of just tossed it out for fun. But it is a little weird that they did what they did. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to Fading Hope on their turn. And I don't think we're going to die to any top decks here. So they could get Squee. Okay. Why don't you go eat your words? We're not gonna die into any top decks here. It won't kill us actually though. Bye bye, Godric. Don't really need a land. And that's gonna be game. Because they can't kill us. And yeah. Nice. Alright, so we defeated Mono Red again. Nice. Alright, well I hope we did, or I hope I did a good job showcasing why this is one of the most impressive decks you can be playing for 0 rares. I hope you enjoyed the video. I think this deck is actually quite fun to play, especially when you know that you're beating your opponents with no rares. It feels weird playing all these cards that seem kind of strange normally. Like if I ran into like an Unctus Retrofitter, I'd be like, really? But in this deck, it puts in work. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider liking, commenting, subscribing. It helps out the channel a ton. That means the world to me. Let me know what was your favorite part of the video in the comments. Let me know if there's any decks that you want to see me try and play. Besides that, maybe you'll enjoy yesterday's video, which we played. Oh, why can I never remember? It was a Expedited Inheritance deck. We tried to break Expedited Inheritance in a Boros Spellslinger deck. It was a ton of fun, though that deck definitely has a few more rares and mythic rares. So still, hopefully it's a fun watch. Anyways, have a nice morning, evening, night, afternoon, wherever and whenever you're watching. Ciao.